Wasn't that loud?
Okay. Introduction. Welcome to the Nap Time Podcast. This is the podcast you want to listen to. This is the podcast you want to listen to while you're making love to your wife. This is the podcast you want to listen to while we're making love to your wife. This is the podcast that you want to listen to in the car, in the shitter, everywhere. I'm your host, Alex Dalen. I'm joined today by my fellow co-host, Robert Lopez, and we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. We're gonna go ahead and talk. We're going to talk about pedophiles.
I'm fucking down. That was a hell of a way to start off the podcast, like immediately going into the pedophilia, fucking your wife. You know, it's fuck.
This is the podcast that you listen to. This is the premier podcast.
Could you clarify pedophile? Because I'm skirt right now.
Pedophiles. Definition. We're gonna go ahead and go by definition.
Oh, what the fuck is a pedophile defined as?
It's a person who's sexually attracted to children.
Oh goodness, that's a lot of people then. I thought it was people who like actively.
It's a lot of people.
I know pedophiles. Wait. Is it okay? Is it children or is it anime children? Because we know a couple people who are attracted to anime children, and this is starting to feel weird.
They argue that they're 3,000-year-old dragon people.
There are a couple of those, but they still look like children. So I would mark them as children.
I mean,
they sound, look, and act like children.
Would you define a midget as a child?
No, because they don't sound like a child. They don't act like a child. Unless they're role-playing. We're getting deep into the rabbit hole.
Unless it's a really immature midget.
If it was a midget, okay, 25-year-old midget. Well, actually, dwarves look more like children. A 25-year-old dwarf who is very immature, acted like a fucking child, maybe sounded like a child. Like there's that Pichu girl, woman. There's that Pichu woman.
Like talking about Lily Pichu?
Yeah, who sounds kind of young, who sounds very young. So what if there was a dwarf, 25 years old, very immature, acted like a child, sounded like a child, and someone was attracted to her? Pedophile?
No, I wouldn't say pedophile.
Because it meets all the criteria of a child. Sounds, acts, looks like a child.
You know what? Honestly, if you're old enough for the age of consent, which is an adult, which is about 18 years old, I consider that's when you're old enough to make your own decisions. You know what? I forgot what we're talking about. We're talking about banging small anime people.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in Japan too.
It is a lot of that in Japan. And then we just take a silent moment to reflect on that. You know, honestly, for me, that's kind of weird. I don't know. It's just that's something about that fucking weirds me out.
I would hope so. It's not. It's very freaky.
But listen, here on the Nap Time Podcast, it's not our job to kink shame. Unless you're a fucking weirdo.
This long pause, but we're gonna do it anyway.
So this marks episode 2. We've officially released episode 1. How do you feel about that? It kind of feels nice to actually just get it released.
Oh God, I'm just at that point, like in my college career and just my fucking life in general, where I make shit, I am shit, but I act so fucking piss scared. I'm such a fucking pussy when it comes to releasing shit or finishing shit that I'm just like, fuck it, finish it, toss it out. It's gonna fail. Hopefully it won't fail that much, but there's always going to be something wrong with everything. So let's get it out there and then let's learn from it. And we'll be like, oh, so we won't do that again.
100%. And I know I'm biting off more than I could chew, but I'm kind of just jumping the gun here, but I'm hoping like at one point we're going to be at like, at about like episode 200. And we're going to be looking back at this and we're going to be, laughing like, man, we've come a long way. It kind of feels nice to just pull the trigger on it.
It does. It feels so much better. It's like you don't want someone holding a gun over your head and just saying at one point in the day, I'm going to shoot you. No, you want them to be like, I'm shooting you now. Get it over with.
Yeah, because I think one of the things is the perfectionist in me, and I know both of us have this problem. is we have that desire to kind of just want to release the best thing we can release. So we'll just keep doing something over, or if it just doesn't look successful, we'll just scrap it.
Yeah, totally.
Like it's just part of it's our egos, and then part of it's also like that perfection, because you want like the best product. You want people to look at it and think, wow, this is really great. I can't wait to see what else these guys are gonna do. But I don't know. It takes a lot of pressure off, especially when you release the first episode. After we,
Oh yeah, totally. And is it okay to talk about Greg Spolenka? Nothing bad. I was just gonna say that like when we worked with him, like I definitely know what you mean. Like I handed him my shittiest work and he was just like, "No, why?" And I was like, "It's not what I'm capable of." And that's why I'm always fucking afraid. I'm like, I can't finish the fucking work cuz this isn't what I feel I'm capable of. Well, fuck it. You got to get the shitty drawings and the shitty artworks out of the way in order to fucking actually make good ones.
yeah, no. It's the same thing with me, because whenever I do, I think one of the things that pulling the trigger on this has actually done was I definitely have been working on my social media a little bit more, and then that kind of pushed me to start working on like a commission page to start selling my artwork. Um, and I've been working on building my website too. So honestly, it's kind of the push you need. It's kind of the push I needed, because now it's given me a lot more courage, I guess, to work on this on other stuff.
I personally work better with a deadline and with like something being held over my head.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends, because it's like I think a deadline works for me, because a deadline works for me, and then it's also just when, even though you don't think it's ready, I think just pushing it out there is the most important thing. Because even if it's really bad, like even if it's like a really bad drawing or just a really bad product, I mean, that's kind of half the battle, is just putting it out there. Because if you never put it out there, you never know if it's really bad or not, or even then you get time to like work on it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because then it's like, because this podcast, it's the first episode, it's important. It's kind of like our baby. We've been like trying to record it and work on stuff for that for a while. And it's not gonna be, our best product. Oh, it's not our best product probably like 10 years from now, when we're just recording. And I think it's just getting it done, and then just keep going and going and going, and then we just learn on the way.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's definitely important. Because I think the thing with working with people like Greg is is just get the bad stuff out, and then just keep going and keep doing it, and then just keep throwing stuff at the wall until something sticks. That's usually the top tier strategy.
Fucking people messaging me all the
Yeah, can
goddamn
you tell
time.
Molly
Shit.
to stop?
I just shut off my phone.
Can you tell her? Can you tell her
They're
to
fucking
stop?
annoying. They have the group chat open. They just fucking spam it. Fucking 2 a.m. in the morning. I just wake up, just ding, 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 ding. I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway.
I just hate him. I hate him.
No, I love them, but sometimes I want to rip their heads off. But I think we should clarify is like we opened up the podcast saying we're going to talk about pedophiles. We're just going to talk about what defines a pedophile. I don't want to seem like one of those fuckers. So, what brought this up?
What, bro? No. So I was telling Robert about this documentary I just watched by the gamer from Mars. Because I'm incredibly fascinated with YouTube lore. It's one of my things, because it's one of my favorite things, because I love the saga of Jew Wario. I love the whole Jesse Slaughter thing. It's just the YouTube lore just rubs me the right way. And there's a
Sonic Shoe. I love Sonic
Sonic
Shoe.
Shoe. Guy's a man. Guy's a real Chris Chan. Chris Chan.
No, he's a woman.
Oh yeah. He's a real woman.
Or was he
Um,
fluid?
I
I can't
think
remember.
he's transgender. You know what? I'm gonna sound totally ignorant here because you know what? I want to at least get this
And we
right.
were going to such a forward-thinking school, Dalen. I thought you were fucking capable of more than just blissful ignorance.
See, I get it wrong. I get it wrong sometimes. But what was I gonna say? No, okay. So I'm fascinated with YouTube lore, and the gamer from Mars recently created. He made this documentary. Well, part one of a documentary series about Basherverse, which is a really fascinating sort of YouTube rabbit hole that's really fun to go down, and it's a really fascinating documentary, and I highly recommend it because it is a documentary that will leave you with your jaw wide open, and it was but no, it's just
That trailer was disturbing.
I showed Robert the trailer.
Just before the podcast, you were like, "Hey, you watch this?" And I was like, "No, I've already been stressed out today. But hey, why not one more thing?"
Yeah, I was like watching this. Oh man, dude, I posted this video on Twitter. And it's a clip of Alex Jones talking about eating someone's ass.
What?
Yeah. Hold on, you're gonna you're gonna watch. It's like a minute 10 trailer. It's a minute 10 video. You're gonna watch it. Yeah. Of course, during the podcast because I want to hear your reaction. I want your reaction caught on tape. Here, it's on Discord.
Oh my god, why Alex Jones?
Alex Jones is an American hero, and he is
Alex Jones loves eating ass. You ever watch that YouTube video on how to eat ass properly and safely?
Wait, you know what? I found out why tossing salad's called tossing salad.
Why?
Because apparently it's a prison thing. They would put salad dressing on their buttholes to mask the scent of ass.
Why
To mask
not
the
just
taste.
watch it?
That's what they did. It's a whole fucking thing. It's a whole thing. But like,
Why?
obviously you don't want to taste booty, so they put salad
I don't
dressing on
fucking I don't kink shame.
Well, that's why it's called
Maybe you
tossing
like the
salad.
taste.
Apparently.
Oh, that's gross. Eating ass had. I was gonna say eating ass had to be around before people in prison, but fuck it, it was probably popularized. I don't fucking know. So I'm gonna watch this shit now.
Yeah, watch it. Let's take a moment here. Let's get real silent.
What the fuck? I can't hear it at all.
Yeah, it's kind of a quiet clip.
No, my Discord's just down. The audio. Whatever, I'll cut this part out. So anyway. Yeah, I'll just watch it now. Let me see what the fuck this. He didn't hear that?
What?
He didn't hear that. He was talking about cannibalizing people. He was like, "I will eat your ass.
Eat your ass, especially the globalist.
Eat your ass.
First person I'm gonna eat the globalist. I'm gonna eat your ass first."
What the fuck? Oh. He straight up came out like he admitted that he will cannibalize a motherfucker. Like one of the biggest questions in humanity, which was like, what was that one incident where the plane went down?
Which time?
It was like in the Alps or some shit, and they froze the bodies in the snow, then they pulled them out and ate them.
Oh yeah,
the Dahmer party.
No. There was no plane in the Donner party. That was those are pilgrims.
Oh right,
those are pilgrims in a fucking caravan, dude.
Well, any situation where it's like life or death, that's like the shit that we say at the fucking lunch table when we're fucking just dicking around. It's like, would you rather eat a dude or fucking starve to death? This guy just fucking comes straight out and is just like, no, I'm fucking cannibalizing him.
Would I hang him up?
Number one taboo, I'm killing him.
Hang him up, gut him up, gut him.
Gut him.
I'm
just gonna gut him.
I will eat your ass.
I will eat your ass.
If honesty is my superpower, I will eat your ass.
If honesty is my superpower, which it is, I'll eat your ass.
My daughters are not going to starve. I will eat your ass.
My children are not going to starve. I am 1746.
I am 1776. Now,
1776.
now the liberals are trying to confuse you. The liberal media, they're trying to confuse you. They're not trying to tell you to size up your own neighbor, cut them up, hang them up, cut them up, and gut them. That's the one thing you got to do. The liberal media is misleading you that the Tyson factories are going to stay open. That's all bullshit. The Tyson factories are going to be shutting down because the fluoride in the water is making the pigs gay. They aren't breeding like they used to.
Like they used to.
They ain't breeding like they used to. Now if it's gonna be one of the things that I gotta do is I gotta inseminate one of them female pigs.
I don't think Alex Jones would survive an apocalypse.
Cause I gotta tell you, I'm scared.
I'm scared. Oh shit, he was crying when he said that too.
Yeah, he was.
I'm just saying what everyone else would be saying. I'm scared.
Because I'm a regular human being and I'm scared. He's just crying. Now the liberal media. Now I took my kids to go see Shrek 2. Oh man, his voice has like such a tone. I took my kids to go see Shrek 2, and the liberals, they talk to you like Rumpelstiltskin. They talk to you real calm, real smooth, like they're trying to make you feel calm. But I'm scared. I'm talking to you like a regular human being because I'm freaking out because I'm real. I'm a real human being.
Oh my god!
I love that clip, dude. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite Alex Jones clips.
That kind of made me scared. Just that fucking guy freaking out. That was one of the first Alex Jones clips that I watched. I was like, what the fuck?
Do you ever see the one where he's like hulking out of his shirt?
No.
And they're like holding him down. They're trying to fight him. They're trying to help him. He's like, I'm ripping out of my shirt. The liberals aren't going to take me alive. And he's like ripping off his shirt and like the set. And, like people like running toward him.
I fucking love Joe Rogan. Alex Jones is a really cool guy. He's got a lot of great thoughts and stuff. You just can't get him started. Once he gets started, he can't stop.
He's great, dude. He's so. I know people are gonna think I'm just a conservative scumbag for saying that, but it's just like, have you ever for like a moment just sat down and listened to an Alex Jones clip out of context? It is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. What was it?
Fucker. I watched a compilation of out of context shit.
Compilations are amazing. My coworker Ryan would put on Alex Jones clips during when we're like in the back undoing boxes in the casino. And he was just at one point, he's like, I want to take back my liberty because these Muslims are coming into the diner and they're ruining the ambiance. And I'm not going to have some person in a Halloween costume ruin my meal. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? He's not a real person. God. Sometimes some of these people aren't real people. Dang old, listen here, fat. Come on, fat. Listen here, fat. Look here, fat. There's also that Joe Biden clip where he calls that guy fat.
He's old school, though. He thinks that's okay now.
Oh, that's my favorite thing. It's just out of context.
Hey, look here.
Look, fat.
I'll bleep this out, but look here.
Whoa!
They used to be crazy. No, I didn't say. Don't worry, I didn't say what you think I said. I just said.
Unbelieved. That one's unbelieved.
It's unbelieved. They're like, whoa. You know what? I kind of like this guy now.
I kind of like this.
He's getting into my style.
How Robert,
he might be a Republican after all.
How Robert Lopez single-handedly garners the conservative. He gathers, he unites them all.
The funny thing is, I'm mixed. I'm mixed. We're both mixed. We're not white entirely.
We're both mixed.
Actually, I'm a majority not white. Yet I look pasty as a fuck.
Yeah.
We're fucker. Oh, Jesus.
We're both mixed cultures. You know what? I am the whitest person out of. It's just like nobody thought. My girlfriend for the longest time never thought I was white until she thought I was like pure white until I told her, and she's like, "You're the whitest brown kid I ever met." I was like, "Yeah."
No, I thought you were Asian.
You thought I was Asian?
I thought you were half Asian. I seriously, first time fucking met you. I was. It's your eyes.
It's because I don't
You look
sleep
half
well.
Asian.
It's because I don't sleep well.
I saw how you used to sleep in your house, and I totally understand that now.
Yeah, sometimes I wouldn't sleep.
That was a crappy futon, man.
Oh, that futon. Yeah, dude. That was what dreams were made of. That futon was what dreams were made of. Oh my God. Jeez. Yeah, no, I slept on a futon and like most of the padding was like gone. And it was yeah, most of the padding was just squished down and like
I'd like sit on there. It was like sitting on planks. Because you were.
Yeah, I was. I was
planks underneath.
I was laying on planks, and like some of the planks were busted, so I'd sink in. And yeah, no, those were great. Those were great times.
If anyone's wondering, that's just my roommate in the background. He's just playing a good old fashioned game.
He's just screaming.
There's good games. You get screaming, man. Oh man, my voice fucking travels when I don't want it to.
Mine does too. Shang-Chi was never a fan of it. He was never a fan of it.
I did it while he was in class and I didn't know, and I was screaming very harsh obscenities and some not so PG phrases.
Doing what?
Just I think I was playing video games or some shit. Or no, I was watching like a YouTube video and I was getting into it or some shit. I can't fucking remember. I think I was playing a video game. But it's just he looks over at me and he's like, "Dude, really?" And then I look and I was like, "What?" Oh, and the whole camera's turned towards me and I'm like, "Fuck." He's like, "Yeah, that's just my roommate." And I was like, "How's it going?" I waved to the whole class and they're like, "Robert, I know you.
I know you. I know that guy."
I thought he was using racial slurs in that manner. I was like, I know that tone of voice and that pure, insensitive hatred.
Oh my God. You know what? To be fair, listen, Robert, if you started your own like Robert Reacts channel and like had your goofy ass laugh in there, I guarantee you'd have like a million views because that laugh brings sunshine and happiness to the world. I
fucking hate those reaction channels though.
It's amazing. To be fair, you have like I think out of everyone I know, you have the best reactions because you were the most like visibly animated human being I've ever met.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're like a whole fucking Looney Tunes, like you're a whole Looney Tunes cartoon. It is awesome.
Oh my God, that's perfect. I'm trying to fucking start up my YouTube right now. I've already got one fucking episode animated, and then like, I already asked you to link the fucking YouTube on the prior episode, the episode before this, and I don't even have anything up yet.
Yeah, I know.
I have stuff uploaded, but not like released yet.
Yeah, I looked on there. I was like, "Huh, that's some pretty good channel art. I can't wait to see the scores and scores of videos he's made." It's like, oh wait,
there's my laugh. There's my laugh. It's just one video of me going, "I am 1776.
I am 1776.
I am the revolution.
I am the revolution. I am the Constitution.
You will not kill our president."
George Washington, Valley Forge, 1776.
Oh my God, his quotes. Like, that's what I wish I fucking had in my high school yearbook.
Man, my
never
nose
really
is running.
graduated though.
Oh my goodness.
He's running?
No, my nose is running.
Oh, I thought you said Alex Jones was running.
If he was running, I would
vote.
I would vote for him. I would fucking vote. I don't stand for anything he says, but I'd vote for him. Oh, hold on.
That's like when you're on the Titanic and you're like, we could die in these shark-infested frozen waters, or we could detonate this nuke on the boat.
I grew up.
Big bang, get it done real quick.
Big bang, shebang, big bang shebang. We're glassing this. We're glassing this
Glass in the
We're
ocean.
glassing the whole shebang. Oh God, what was this 2008 quote? Now, I grew up in Dallas, Texas, drinking sodium fluoridated water. All the scientific studies show my IQ has been reduced by at least 20 points. The shadow of who I would have been calls out from the grave.
I fucking love that. The shadow of who I could have been calls out from the grave.
All right, I think this is. I can muster one more. Oh no, was it?
I love it when he says
I
it.
see through your lies, Barack Obama. You wicked, wicked devil.
It would have been way better if it was like, you wicked, wicked black devil.
What was it? What was it?
You're really racist. Be like, oh, so yeah.
Just men in black uniforms grabbing a 55-year-old woman just choking. You're gonna learn how you're gonna learn. Submit to foreign bankers, give us unlimited power, and we're gonna rule this country. You hear? We're gonna fade on your ass, and the cops are gonna drink fluoride water. They're gonna take their kids and just shoot them up with mercury, and the kids are gonna be autistic. The cops, they don't care.
Okay.
They don't
I'm a
care.
little retarded.
I'm going to the tip bar. I don't care if my kids brain damaged kids. They drink whiskey and kill everybody in Austin when they kill themselves. The cops, then they go SWAT the team. They go SWAT team the bar owners. Wait, no.
Okay, Alex Jones is one of those motherfuckers that you hear about on the news who barricaded himself in a fucking forklift and just like steel welded it shut.
Let's see. Hold on.
And is just driving through downtown wrecking buildings.
Let me finish this quote because it's really profound. Go kill everybody in Austin, and then when they wreck and kill themselves. The cops then go and SWAT team the bar owners and that sold them too much whiskey. It's your fault you sold too much whiskey to a god. You don't sell too much whiskey to a god. We're God. You understand? We roll America. We'll shoot you in the face. We'll bloody your face. We'll laugh about it because we're weak gang members. Oh my God.
We're weak gang?
We're weak gang members. I have no idea.
We're
He's talking about gang members. Hold on. We're going to find out this quote. Anyways, yeah, Alex, my favorite one was he was rolling in an armored vehicle to that Hillary Clinton rally.
You will not kill our president.
You will not kill our president. You will not kill our president.
You will not kill our president. The man's a character. Like, that is some shit you don't get in everyday life. That is the shit you see on TVs and fucking, like, you ever seen those fucking crazy ass motherfuckers on TV shows and movies where you're just like, I wish I could just have lunch with that man. See what the fuck is going on.
Oh, dude, there's a clip where he gets his microphone stolen. He's like fighting with the dude, and he just shouts, "You're weak. Your God is weak."
Why? What is the reasoning? What goes through his mind? It just sounds like it's a spigot with no fucking stop.
I don't know. You know what? It's funny. We've been all over the spectrum here.
That's our fucking conversations. It's like we don't settle on one topic. We just talk.
No, my favorite thing is we've been all over the spectrum here in this conversation. But the one thing that has been consistent is Alex Jones.
He is our landmark. He is our rock in these trying times. He keeps us grounded. He's our anchor. He is our president.
He is the linchpin that holds this podcast together.
Oh, what the fuck? I'm watching this video about this guy assaulting Alex Jones. He looks crazy too. Crazy attracts crazy. Alex Jones is crazy and he attracts another crazy dude. He's coming at me. He's coming at me again. He's coming at me again. Okay, I'm done watching that now.
Did you hear him shout, "You're weak, your God's weak"?
Yeah. Yeah. You're weak, your God's weak. What God? The Christian God?
No, it's Muslim God.
He's white though.
No, I believe that guy was of Middle Eastern faith or of Middle Eastern descent.
Well, you see, Dalen, I don't see skin color. I only see American. And if you're American, means you believe.
I think.
God.
Hold on. Let me.
A good Christian God.
I know I'm probably gonna get flack for this.
Oh, fuck it. We're so early on. Like, these episodes are gonna be buried by the time we're actually like Fucking by the time we noticed. Oh god, and someone's gonna pull it up and do a JonTron on us when one of us said like a very racial term, which of course I would never say.
Well, you know what? So far, I think the person who's been saying I think out of the both of us, it's been you that's been saying the most controversial stuff. So,
Absolutely.
oh yeah. Well, but I mean, like, it's to be fair. To be fair, I doubt anyone's going to be getting their news from us.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, listen, if somebody comes back, if this comes back to bite us like 3 years from now, when we have like 45 subscribers, and suddenly we become big shots, and someone just says, "But the funny YouTube man said Alex just said that man was of Middle Eastern descent. He said that. He said fact. He said I could smoke. He said I could smoke meth in front of an elementary school and I wouldn't go to jail."
You won't go to jail.
Yeah, you won't. If you go up there and you smoke, if you just,
The teachers don't know what it smells like.
yeah, they won't. They don't understand what
The kids do because our mommies and daddies smoke it all the time.
You get caught because you don't share.
The only way I'm gonna report you is if you just bogart it, man.
Yeah, if you
That
both
shit's
got
not
it.
cool.
Yeah, if you don't share with those kids and you don't get them.
My daddy made that goddamn crystal. You better be sharing. All right.
Yeah, if you don't share, listen. If you believe everything the funny YouTube men tell you, then you don't. You really need to reconsider your life.
If you take the essence of who you are, if you take the essence of your thought and everything, if you take all your facts from satire, you become Alex Jones. You become, okay, I'm a little retarded. You become a little retarded.
As he's as a wise man once said. Geez, I am stumbling. I cannot pronounce. It sounds like it sounds like I need another Mountain Dew.
You get cracked up on those things.
I've only had like one today.
You had any monsters today?
I had the frostbite. Those make me shake.
I know.
You know what? I'm very rare to have one because I'll have one every time we play. Usually, sometimes when we play League, so I stay more alert. But I bought a 4-pack a month ago, and I've only drank one.
Oh, that's good. For a second, I thought you were getting really into them. I was like, oh, you could get hooked on those too.
No. I can't anymore. Those things make me really shaky.
Dude, okay, so ever since that one D&D night we spent at our friend's place, like way back when we were in high school, when I downed 3 Nosses, the full cans, 4 5-hour energies, 2 monsters, 5 Cokes, and I had a fucking panic attack. Like, it wasn't, I don't know what the fuck it was. Like, someone just looked over at me and was like, "Hey, Robert, you all right?" And I was just like, no. No. Ever since that, it's like my system can't handle energy drinks. Thank God, something inside of me is just like, no more. We're shutting you down.
Yeah, you know what? It's the same thing with me because I like energy drinks and I'll drink them. Well, they make me tired. But then there's sometimes they'll make me like wide awake. But sometimes they'll just
Your body is an enigma.
I have no idea what the hell's going on with my body sometimes.
Oh my God.
It's like a dice roll every time I drink one of those.
It most certainly fucking is.
It feels like it.
I can't even handle coffee. But those fucking pre-workouts, those are pretty good for me. I don't get jittery or anything.
You know what I just bought? I bought
pre-workout?
Well, no, I bought more dumbbells. I bought
nice.
So I've got 5-pounders, 8-pounders, 10-pounders, so I can do more calisthenics. And then I bought a jump rope for cardio.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I just bought one big 35-pounder.
How much was that?
That was fucking $50, which is not good. It's because I bought it during the crisis when everyone was buying everything, and everyone who like does any workout fucking bought a shit ton of dumbbells, so the price got jacked up on dumbbells.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's nuts. I know. I was trying to get some, and I was lucky to. I have two different size dumbbells. So I have the neoprene ones and I have the regular steel ones. So like I have two dumbbells that are two 10-pounders that are two different sizes, so they're not like ideal for like exercise together. But no, yeah, no. I went to the exercise section and they were just cleared out.
Yeah.
Like a
I
pair.
tried buying some from Walmart, never went through.
Yeah, it was. I was going. I went on Amazon. I was trying to buy one. I was like, oh, these are fucking expensive. These are like $1 billion. The jump rope. I was like, they just got it in stock, but it's still going to take a while to come in. But no, yeah, no, it's fucking exercise equipment's gotten expensive. Man, I can't wait. Oh, I bought a bookcase a while
You bought
ago.
a bookcase?
Yeah, because I have so many books. I bought a bookcase and I filled it up, and I still have too many books.
Oh fuck yeah.
It sounds like a weird flex, but all right.
No, a flex would be I have a bookcase back at my mama's house that's full of my shit. My mangas and my comics and
And,
all those art books that I have.
and my
Fuck, I went through a big phase and like I looked it up online and apparently people go through this people are already go through this. Is like an art phase where I just buy art books cuz I feel they'll make me better.
I still go through that phase. Well, I don't think it'll make me feel bad. It's just some of this stuff I just want to fucking collect.
Oh no, that's the kind of the phase I'm in now where it's like I want to get like not well the books that I was buying prior were the tutorial art books and shit. The shit that I'm into now, which is like art books from like Zootopia, Frozen, fucking My Hero Academia, shit like that. Just like art books about the projects and like really good shit, really good art.
Yeah, yeah.
Like behind the scenes into the industry. It's like damn.
Yeah, no, it's so fat. I love it because it's just because it's like I think because that Persona art book, well, not the Persona, the Shigenori Soejima book I just bought. It's just like he's one of my heroes, so I've always wanted to like. Part of me wants to because I think I definitely want to get better, but I think one of the fascinating things is whenever you look at artists or like people that you really admire, it's really interesting to kind of just dissect what makes them like successful or what makes them really good. And that's also why I like collecting those art books because I'm like, well, what makes these really good? What makes these successful?
Okay, so actually, I fucking want to talk to you about this. It's like, what the fuck makes a good artist? Like, what have you seen from other people? Because I've seen what I've read, and from like podcasts and YouTube and like interviews and all this sort of shit. It's like Kim Jong Gi's just like, well, I just do it. You know, talking to other people, they're just like, yeah, you just do it. Do you get any other answers? Do you find out like,
I think we had this. Yeah, no, it's I you ever? I think Kim Jong Yi does it. Um, he says just do it, but he does dissect it a little bit more. I know Proko on the Draftsman podcast. I think what makes a good artist is, I guess, it's figuring it. See, that's a really there's a difference between what makes a good artist and what makes a successful artist. I guess when you, I think what because that's a really broad question to ask. Is just like
yeah,
because it's like what are you trying to get good at? Because it's like the question is, I think what makes a good artist is depending on what you want to do because it's like you want to be an illustrator. Well, what makes a good illustrator? Or I want to be a comic artist. Well, what makes a good comic artist? Like, and when you dissect like what makes a good comic artist, well, you go with like scene composition, perspective, line quality.
yeah. There was that what was it? It was like that what the fuck kind of graph do you call that? It's like a box graph or some shit that Psychra had. You sent me the video. It was about requirements for different artists. If you want to be an illustrator, if you want to be a storyboard artist, and then it had like comic book artists, and it was like you need to do everything if you want to be a comic book artist.
Yeah, except for color. That's the one thing he said. Like it's
Yeah,
kind of like,
actually, yeah.
yeah, comic book artists have to be good at everything. And like I think like the question is because like Kim Jong Gi is, I wouldn't say like a rare breed because it's because I think what I've seen more in a lot of artists is because he's popularized that kind of drawing, which is like a direct drawing and a very technical kind of thing. But like to be good at it, to be like a really good artist, you don't have to like learn how to draw like Kim Jong Il, where you just fucking direct draw. It's a cool skill, like it's a cool little talent to have, but like at the core of it, it's like, well, like are you able to like draw what you need to draw, or are you? Because I think it's like you can be good for you in the technical sense, and then because there are people that have less technical skill but are more successful artists commercially, um, or even like artists that do like simpler stuff, like you know, you've seen Shen comics. He's a good draw. I think he's like, not to bash on him, but he's a, I'm not bashing on him at all, but he's a lot simpler in terms of like his technical ability, but he has a lot more viewers. And I think there's definitely that difference of what makes a good artist and what makes a successful artist. And I think that's definitely like business, marketing, and being able to sell yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think one of the things is like Kim Jong Gi is a phenomenal artist, but I don't think he'd be where he is today if he wasn't like good at being able to advertise himself or know how to get or hire people to advertise for him. Because I think like, yeah, because there's those weird questions you have to ask yourself, because if you put yourself into like drawing nonstop, because I'm kind of like at fault for that because I draw nonstop and I don't focus on anything else, but like I fall behind on like a lot of like social media, because I think it's like it's such a weird hard question that it's you we could talk about for hours.
There's definitely no end to this question.
Yeah, because it's really specific for everyone, is what makes, like what does make constitute like a good artist. And if you're asking yourself, it's just like, well, it's, can you do business, and then can you sell yourself? Because I think I'd rather be I guess in a lot of terms, like I'd rather be like a successful artist where I'm making money off of it than like a really fucking, well, I don't know. See, that's a good question, is like what do you define as a good artist?
Me personally, a I have no definition for a good artist. It's like whoever makes anything. And like there's artists that I favor, there's artists that I love, and there's even artists that I hate. Well, not hate. Hate's a strong word. I'm not a fan of their work. There is no hate with this. It's just like I respect that you're doing art, but I'm I don't have to enjoy your art. Um the number one people that I say are like the best artists are the ones who like make money off of it, who do it constantly, who do it successfully, and who do it fucking happily. One issue that I'm running into with is like being happy with producing art, which is just like I'm definitely fucking working at it, but it's just such a grind because you know you got to fail to succeed, and like whenever you see constant failures, you're like there's that part in the back of your head that's saying this is going to turn out better because you're getting all the crap out of your system and you're learning from these mistakes. But there's the big lizard brain part in it where it's just saying you're failing. Just stop.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, because it's because I think one of the things is, you know, I'm always plugging in other podcasts, the Draftsman podcast with like Proco and stuff like that. His whole thing is like, you go in,
Great podcast.
it's a good podcast, but not as good as the Nap Time podcast. Uh, JK, LOL. It's a fantastic
Step
podcast.
aside, Proko.
Step aside with a new art podcast where we talk about Alex Jones quotes. No, so what's fascinating about that, because he talks about like your mentality, because it's like if you go in believing you're gonna get better, you're gonna get better. And I think that's one of the mentalities I've done and I like doing, and I think it's definitely pushed me a little farther. But it's hard to keep it. Like it's really difficult to keep it because it's like I think last night I was doodling with my lady while she was playing Animal Crossing, and I just like did like I haven't like sketched. I've always been drawing on my on Photoshop and not in like a sketchbook, so I've had a hard time getting adjusted to it. And I just did a bunch of bad drawings, and I just like felt so embarrassed. But I was like, why am I feeling embarrassed? I should just keep drawing. Because if you keep drawing nonstop, you're gonna get better. It's just an iterative process, and it is a grind, and it does get really tiring. But it's I don't know. I think that's one of the things that constitutes for me as a good one of the qualities that constitutes a good artist is being able to like repeat. Bobby Chu said that in Schoolism is being able to repeat fundamentals like the simplest stuff over and over and not get bored with it.
Love Bobby Chew. That was one issue though that I was talking to. I've been talking to people on social media, on internet classes. I've been a part of Schoolism. I've been a part of CGMA. I've been a part of one other online digital art class resource where you're in a class and all that sort of stuff. Can't remember. And then like I've been in this college and talking to a bunch of people, and that was one of the pieces that of Bobby Chew that stuck with me was you need to do the fundamentals and not get bored of them. And I'm like talking to other people, and they're like, no, we get so bored with it. We get so disheartened. This is not what we want to do. This is not what we love. This is not anything about what we want. And I'm like, yeah, but we need to do the fundamentals in order to get better at everything else. And they're like, that's it, it it's just it doesn't click.
And they're like,
It
bullshit,
doesn't click.
bullshit.
Yeah, I'm like, bullshit. And then I see fucking like what is it, anime artists who okay, so a lot of anime artists, they just have so many limitations on them. Yeah, they need to learn fundamentals, definitely. But they never learned the fundamentals. They just kept drawing anime faces over and over and over and anime hair and anime everything else.
See that's definitely debatable because I agree there are some artists like that. I think that's one of the things they argue about that style is it gets very inbred. Because,
That's why a lot of people hate it.
but
A lot of the professionals and the art school teachers.
definitely. Well, it's just fucking there are so many artists, there are so many mangaka out there that have their own unique style and they're
No doubt, no
oh
doubt.
god, and well a lot of them have drawn from life. A lot of the see you'll notice recurring patterns among artists. The really talented ones will anybody who's talented will draw from life. Like all the artists that are notable will sketch from life. Fucking Hirohiko Araki, Posuke Demizu, who's just fucking one of the most technical artists. He kind of draws like well that the person kind of draws like Krenz Kuchart in a sense in terms of like the hardcore perspective and stuff. Um, well, Posuke Demizu is also the artist who did Promise Neverland. And then
Fucking love Promise
it's
Neverland.
good.
Did you see the fucking fisheye shots on that? On the fucking cover art? Oh my god! I
and
want to get that depth.
he has an art book, and I follow his
Oh, I gotta
Instagram.
look that
I
up.
want to get his art book.
Here, wait. What was his name again?
Posuke, Posuke, and then Demizu, Demizu.
Okay, continue. I'm just gonna look. I'm saving that for later. I need to get.
Uh,
I need to look at that book.
Shigenori Soejima, Tetsuya Nomura, fucking.
Cal Art's one of the best animation. The second best animation course in the world, and just definitely the best in America. Very heavily stresses drawing on life. That was one of the number one things when I really wanted to apply to them is I kept looking at that and I was like, why do they want me to draw from life? Why? I'm drawing cartoons. I'm drawing cartoons. And yes, drawing from life is so fundamental. It is the core essential of art. It is so important.
because it's like, well, I think it's wow, I'm stumbling so hard. It's so important in the sense that building those technical skills is so paramount that drawing from life is like your best teacher because it's a three-dimensional thing that you can touch, that you can feel, that you can see, that you can draw, and
Oh, and my dumbass was trying to do it from photos. Don't do it from photos. Actually, because our teacher, your figure drawing teacher, who is also our art history teacher, uh actually clarified this for me, and this clicked with me just this semester, and it just like a veil lifted from my fucking eyes. He was I was like, "Yeah, I just draw figures from online." He was like, "Well, yeah, all these courses are online, and we have to do the figure drawing course online now, and I think it's really terrible." And I was like, "Why? I draw from online all the time." He was like, "Uh, it's not that you look at the figure; it's that when you have two eyes and you're constantly moving, you don't see any contours. You don't see the figure. You see a 3D representation is basically a blur inside of your mind, and you have to decide where the lines go. But when you look at a flat image on a computer, all the decisions are made for you already, and you could just blind contour it. You could just you don't even have to look up from your paper. You could just trace it with your eye if you get really good at blind contour. And I was just like, "Oh my god,
see,
yeah,
one of the things that he see if I had a counter argument for that, because I definitely believe there should be room for both, because I talked to him about that, and he's even conceded that point, because in a lot of cases when I draw, because I think one of the things about, I think there should be a mix, because I think
definitely, yeah."
because I don't believe that the decisions are already made for you, because again it's open to interpretation, and on top of that there's a lot more in terms of understanding three-dimensional volumes that you can. I think one of the things is when you see like a live model in front of you, you can see depth, you can see volume, and you can decide whenever you're drawing the figure to make it more three-dimensional. When you see an image, it's a little bit more difficult because the image is indeed flat and you can't like rotate it around. But I think one of the things about that is they stretch very different muscles. One of the argument I think the instructor, the figure drawing instructor, is a fantastic. He's a phenomenal figure drawing. But one of the things that his weak, I think that's different for us, is that there's a difference between drawing what you see and then drawing what you know, and there should be like a meeting in the middle, because I think drawing what you see is a weakness, because if you draw from life nonstop, then you're going to come upon like a roadblock of when you need to draw something from like imagination, or you want to draw a doodle or a cartoon or something like that, and you can't because there's nothing in front of you.
Oh, like the thought that imagination is a muscle in your brain.
It is indeed a muscle, because it's how Kim Jong-gi does it. It's how so many artists do it.
Oh my god, Kim Jong Gi is like that brain is Albert Einstein on imagination. He just comes up with everything. He's like, yeah, I just looked at stuff. And what was one thing that he said? He said, back in my army days, I couldn't draw all the time. So what I would do is I was sitting in the airplane before we were about to dive off, or before we were about to land or something, in the military airplane, and he would say I would imagine drawing over the contours and the lines of the plane. And I was like, that's not dedication. That is just pure enjoyment. That is like that is god tier next level enjoyment. No wonder he became so great at it, because he loves it so much. It's not a hobby, it's not a pastime, it's just what he does.
Yeah, his quote. He almost got kicked out of school. Like he almost failed school because he would just sit there and just draw all day. He would just draw
Yeah,
nonstop. But
incredible.
and that's one of the things I argue about, because I think one of the things is he's even admitted it, and I don't mean to like he it's kind of weird because he always brings me up during class sometimes about like the whole, because I draw digitally and I draw a lot of stuff. I'm very careful about my lines, and I tend to draw through the figure, and I draw very three dimensionally sometimes. And I've been challenging myself by drawing from like imagination, but like even then, like I've been during classes, I've been introducing him to like all these online classes, things like that, and like digital art and such like that. And he's even conceived a little bit that this stuff could be useful. And I think it's definitely two schools of thought. It's it's drawing what you see and drawing what you know. I think there should be a mix. I think you should be able to, because 3D models also exist. He says 3D models are super useful. Um, but it's being able to see a figure and be able to understand like the three-dimensional volumes and be able to like understand three dimensional like how figures work in space. And then I believe I think one of the most useful things about photos is you have so many of them, so many of them for like reference and stuff like that to
And
construct.
things you can't attain, like models with certain outfits, with costumes, with certain body structures. Like I was when I was over in Farmington, I was stuck in a class with only one model, one female model, and I had a life drawing portfolio of only a female. And a lot of people were just like, "Wow, you're stuck on a female." A lot of people who didn't know art were just like, "Wow, you're really a perv," all this sort of shit. And it's just like, well, I was stuck with the model, and that was so limiting.
Yeah, it's very limiting because okay, so I just bought, um if you want them, I bought the Noah Bradley figure drawing packs, and I bought two models. I bought Noah and Rachel, and they're both over 800 photos each of them. Like just
Yeah, you need to send those to me.
they're both, so it's about 1,600 images of just reference photos.
Hell yeah.
But hold
Sneeze.
on. Excuse me. Thank you. No, so like he went on to clarify, like I think when you're starting out, you oh my god. Wow, that killed me. When you're starting out drawing, one of the most important things is that you draw from life, because I think drawing from photos is incredibly useful, but it can be very detrimental if you don't know what you're doing.
How so?
I think first you should be able to learn how to draw a model in space, like an actual model as you see it, and then you can move to photos. Because I think one of the things, again, because the problem about photos and pictures is they're flat. They're already compressed, they're already flat, so they don't have any depth. Well, they depth on the two-dimensional plane, but they don't have actual like mass. So it's very difficult for people to eyeball it. So they'll just draw what they see and then they'll copy it exactly. Um, so I think it's very important to understand how things work in actual like life space, so that when they're drawing from a photo or they're drawing from imagination, they know how those relationships work, so they can start constructing those things just from like imagination, and it looks better, it looks proper, and then they can tweak as they go.
Yeah, that sounds really fair. Heck yeah. You know, one other thing is just like we're s our the artists that I have looked at, the podcasts that I've studied, all these sort of things, the classes that I've taken, all this sort of stuff, they just say like there's certain ways that you do things. There's certain all this sort of stuff. Like you don't use photos, you do use photos. You don't draw in digital, you do draw in digital. This that mixture in between, all this sort of stuff. It's like everyone acts like they know what they're doing, but like whenever you look at the interviews between artists and all this sort of stuff, there will be people on completely different ends of the spectrum. Fucking Mike Mignola versus Kim Jong Gi versus fuck it, Tom Fishback, versus fuck, I can't remember his name, but just artists, they don't do the same thing, and yet they can become so great. It really does come back to what you were saying about like it really does depend on what you want to do. But fuck, it's so hard because I I'm I know what I want to do.
Just how
I'm
do you
pretty
get
sure.
there?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
which artist do I listen to? And like I was talking to Greg, and I was
Oh
talking
my
to
goodness, gross.
shit. Who's our professor? Bald? Um
Jim.
Jim. I was talking to Greg and then I was talking to Jim about it, and they were like, No one knows a goddamn thing. You're gonna struggle with it, and there's no answers. Like you're gonna learn from people. Fuck yes, you're gonna learn from people. But it's just like take everything with a grain of salt. And then even then it's gonna be a struggle.
Agreed. Yeah, because I think one of the things I listen to about a teacher is that they'll. I think the thing is about it is that there's so many options. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and it's finding the most effective way for you. And and that's going to be a lot of struggling. Like there are going to be options, and I think teachers what they do. Well, what teachers do is that they'll present like something that because I think that's the same thing with John, Mr. Carver,
Yeah.
the figure drawing teacher, is he's telling you something that works for him. He's telling you something that he learned through a classical way. That's not through like a concept artist or an animator or an illustrator's way of drawing. Like he teaches you specifically from a classical fine artist way. That's not geared towards animation. It's not geared towards comic books, sort of. It's not, well, it is sort of. You can adapt it, but it's not geared towards like concept art or anything like that. It's not going to teach you very much. It's going to give you very good core drawing skills, but
Yeah.
but when he teaches you something, he's teaching you stuff that he was taught and that works for him. And most teachers, to prevent you from like getting overloaded, they'll show you one way and they'll make you do it that one way because that's just to prevent you because like I think it's more effective because like what do you want to do? Do you want to be presented with one sure shot way of learning how to draw, or do you want to be presented like with 30 different avenues of how to draw?
And we've all had those teachers, those art teachers who say, "No, this is the only way. You either do it like this or you don't do it at all because you're." And they'll say this: "You're failing because you're not trying it my way, and you will never get good because you are not trying it my way. And basically what they're saying is my way is the only way."
Yeah.
That is so fucking damaging. I believed that for the longest time in high school, and thank God. You remember Miss Sherry at Farmington High, right?
Yeah.
She came across me and she was like, "No, like you don't have to color inside the lines. Basically, you could think outside the box. You could do anything you want, and you could get it done. You want to waste your time and you want to half-ass a project? Fucking go for it. If that's what you want." It was the first fucking teacher to treat me like a human being. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Just art classes in general, so incredible. Like you learn how to learn, and you get a feeling for what education truly is, like how to absorb information, and like if it's not working for you, you try to adapt to a new process. You don't just sit there pounding on the desk going, "I can't get it, so I'm stupid." Well, some people do, and it's very unfortunate, but it all depends on teachers, prior knowledge, and effort, and literally everything.
Yeah, it's just it's I think the thing is like everybody learns different, and I think one of the things is about it is everybody has a different way of doing things. Like everybody on this planet has a different way of seeing the world. Everybody has a different way of drawing. Everybody has a different way of painting. And I think one of the things is about it is that you shouldn't learn from just one person. It should be picking and choosing what fits you.
That is definitely, yeah. Do not learn from just one person. Uh, Yeah, that's actually what like a majority of professional artists say is like that's incredibly damaging. Is like you need input from everything. That's like getting all your political views from one source. Like if you listen to nothing but like uh like just pure Democrat news, or you listen to high Republican news, then you'll never know what it's like to be humanitarian or and all these sort of like every other school of thought.
Oh yeah, because it's like if you copy from just Andrew Loomis, like if you just copy Loomis drawings all day, all you are is just a carbon copy of an artist.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the things is about it is at the end of the day, what's important more than just understand like learning is actually just well, it learning's important. Learning and studying is incredibly important. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you draw it. It doesn't matter if you have a specific way or what method any artist teaches you. At the end of the day, it matters that you have a really good looking drawing. Like that's all people care about. Is like it doesn't matter how many like it doesn't matter how many like fucking schools and classes you buy. It doesn't matter how many fucking gum roads I buy. All that matters, like end of the day, is like can you draw a good hand? Like it doesn't matter how many. It even doesn't even matter how many reference photos. If it doesn't matter if you use photos or fucking 3D models. It just matter like can you draw this?
Yeah.
Because like when so, like the average layman's gonna look at it and go, "This is a good drawing."
Oh yeah, I love that fucking internet meme. There's an artist internet meme or photo or whatever where it's like an artist two artists present their pieces, and they present them as cakes. One artist is like, wow, my art is amazing, I've spent 50 years perfecting this cake and designing this cake, and this is my utmost masterpiece. And then there's like a new cake designer who's just like, oh, my cake is shit, this is like only my third attempt and all this sort of shit. And then a random person comes up who's never done art before and is just like, wow, two cakes,
Yeah, it
I
doesn't.
love them.
It doesn't matter.
Oh my god, like what are the some of the simplest thing? Like a fucking internet animator like Odd Ones Out. Just simple basic stick figures, basically. Versus Kim Jong Gi. Like you put them both up on a pedestal, and then someone's gonna be like, these are completely different things, and I love them both.
Or they're just
I
gonna.
fucking love them both almost equally.
Yeah, because it's just like what do you? It's like at the end of the day, well, what do you want to convey? Is like the question because the odd ones out is a he's a comedian. He's for entertainment and comedy.
All story, all comedy.
All story, all
He
comedy.
doesn't want to portray anatomy. He doesn't want to portray um like fine art or anything. He just wants that story
Yeah,
and shit.
he just wants to tell funny stories, anecdotes, and then Kim Jong Gi is somebody who's elevated him. Like he just draws. He's an illustrator. He mindlessly draws. Like he just draws stuff from like his imagination, and it's just he's more of a performance artist, and then Odd Ones Out is more of an entertainer. It's trying to gear yourself towards the because I like when you ask yourself what is an artist, what is any career, it's it like you can say like a concept artist is this that or an illustrator is this or that, a comic artist is this or that, but like the one thing we all share together is that we're all problem solvers.
Definitely.
Like the whole thing is like you're building technical ability is just building a toolbox to solve problems that you're creating yourself. You're solving problems that you created. Like if you want to create a comic, well, okay, I want to create this panel layout. But how do I understand panel composition? Okay, there's how do I do that? How do I write a script? There's a problem there. I need to solve that. I need to read these books, learn these skills so I have the tools to better suit the problem, or I need to learn perspective so I have these tools.
So one issue that I've certainly had that I've incredibly struggled with ever since I hit college. And the number one thing that I found out like in college is like it's it's not learning how to draw, it's learning how to fucking learn. Cuz I'm like, I don't I'm in the cinematics department, and the number one issue I had was I didn't know what questions to ask. I would sit in class. In fact, that's still the problem. Is I'd sit in class and they'd be like, "Do you have any questions?" And I'd be like, "I don't know what to ask."
Just,
And now
no.
in this sound class, just no. But in the sound class that I'm currently in, I'm a senior, and I'm in a level 101 class. Okay, I'm in the first class met, and I have the class with a bunch of freshmen.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna suck so much ass because I got put in there by accident because my other credit failed through, even though I succeeded. It got transferred as a different credit. Blah blah blah. But I go in. Um, I'm like, this is gonna suck. And then all the students are just like, I don't know why my sound doesn't sound good. And it's I mean, it's just pretty good. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. And I'm like, well, there's some issues here, 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 here. And they're like, okay, you got pretty good sound. What's up with that? And I was like, oh, well, you got to do this, 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 and look at this. And then I was like, oh shit, this is all the shit that I've been learning over the fucking years. And the teacher comes up and is finally like, okay, do you guys have any questions? And this was where I always failed. And I was actually like, wait, so actually with the reverb technique, how do you get it to actually sound like an amphitheater without the traditional settings? Because the traditional settings actually sound more fake than real. And he was like, okay, so you want to go in there, you actually want to mess with the equalizer, and you actually want to equalize it so that it counters the reverb effect so that it sounds more realistic. Because if you put a reverb effect on a already shitty audio that is not equalized, then it will amplify the unequalized settings. And I was like, holy shit. These are the questions I should have been asking. All this sort of shit. I just didn't know what to ask.
So
It's like learning how to learn.
my question is, what? So what? How did you formulate that question?
How did I come up with it?
Yeah, like how do you like what? Why did you ask that question?
The reverb effect specifically, I asked it. Why did I ask it? I asked it because I was trying to get a ghost effect on my voice. And oh, you're right. Good point. I looked it up on. I didn't look it up online. I saw it. I heard it from another source, and that was what a lot of people. Not a lot of people. One source was telling me that just I had an epiphany with was they said, look at the stuff that you like and then think, how can I do that? Normally, I would have gone up to the teacher and like, because I tried asking questions like this, as I was like, I want to make the voice sound spooky. I want to make the voice sound like it's kind of like far away, but it's not really far away. If you Google shit like that, you don't know a goddamn thing. It took me years to learn. Okay, reverb, the equalization, the pitch. I had to learn the terms for all this sort of shit. Fucking art. There's composition, exposition, and story, and all this sort of shit. And just I had to learn the terms in order to ask the right question. You got to learn what to know in order to learn what to know. I have no idea how to explain this shit. I'm still getting through it.
So
It is crazy.
let's see if I can let's see if I can help. So you learn to ask you learn to ask the question by understanding the proper terminology so you can communicate, so you can explain what you wanted to learn.
Yes,
And I would say that you learn to formulate that question because there was something that you really wanted to do, so then you had the material to ask that question, so you could learn how to do it, so you can apply it to what you're currently working on.
definitely. It also comes down to learning how to notice things. Like I'm gonna keep using audio because that's what I struggle with currently. is you don't hear a sound effect in a movie. It just happens and it feels natural. That's the whole reason that it's a good sound effect is you don't notice it. It just happens and you're like, whoa. You don't think, wow, that was really bassy. That was this, that was reverb or whatever. You're just like, it felt like an alien hovercraft would actually make that sound. It felt like an actual alien hovercraft was in the room.
Yeah.
It's learning to notice it. There's so much shit to learning for me.
See,
It could possibly just be me because I've seen people who just pick it up immediately and they're just like, so wait, there's this, there's that, there's this, there's that, and I need to know how to do that. And I'm just like, whoa, bro. The alien sounded like boom.
you, you, kn- you know, I think the best person who put it into like perspective for me was my music teacher in high school.
Oh, she's a lovely woman.
Well,
She's amazing.
she for me, for me she taught me the art of learning, I guess in that sense. Because I think the best way that I learn is I find a project, something that I'm working on, say it's like a drawing or something, or I guess I'll stick to we'll stick to some audio. I'll go with like like music. She the first thing that you want to do is you want to dissect the music sheet. You want to look at the sheet overall, look at what's going on. You want to be able to figure it out inside and in, and whatever problems that arise, you learn it. Like say there's a rhythm that's really difficult, well you before you even play it, before you even start fucking touching anything, you count it out and you figure it out. You learn any of the terminology, like any terminology that you need to learn, you learn it. Like it's just the same thing that I do with well, I try to do with my drawings. Is so first step is you take the overall piece of music, you figure out what's the time signature, you figure out what's the key signature, and then you count out all the rhythms in every single measure. And then taking into that account, you also take account like the you know, like the piano, nissimo, the fortissimos, the fucking accents, bowing directions, and it's figuring it out. And then after that, it's going slow. And then after that, once you look through it and you manage to dissect it, you have a proper way of being able to ask the questions. Because when you're like, okay, at measure 45, what is this rhythm? Or at measure 46, how can I better hit this accidental with, you know, my fingerings with. And then once you translate that to art, I'm like, okay, so I want to draw a big titted anime girl doing this. So what I would do is I'd figure out the whole thing. I'd figure out where the figure fits in the composition, and then after that I would start drawing thumbnails. Well, and then after that I would dissect, like, you know, composition. Where's this gonna fit? Where's this gonna fit? How does this relate in space? And then when I come across a problem, like I don't understand how this pectoral works, or I don't understand how the flexor muscle connects to the bicep, or to the lower condyle of like the elbow. I need to look at that, and then that gives you like a question to ask, like how does this connect to that? How would this twist to that? Or you can go out and learn it yourself by like observing. It's presenting yourself with a problem, and then that gives you the ability to ask the question and the direction to figure it out.
That is definitely a lot of shit.
Yeah, I think I think if I were to simplify it, it's figuring out the problems first in your project, and that gives you the direction to figure things out.
Oh, oh, very good. So younger artists, we can't figure out what's wrong with our art. How do we know how to ask?
Yeah, it's
You don't see anything wrong with your art. You just know it just feels off. It doesn't look like the pros, right? You ever get that?
just don't feel right.
It doesn't feel right, it doesn't look right. You know it's bad. You know it's bad, but you're just like, I don't know why it's not good. You don't know the questions to ask.
I think, that's one of the reasons I want to go to Lightbox Expo so bad. Because
Because the pros will point out, oh Jesus, getting critiqued by a professional, quickest way to learn what you fucking did wrong. Oh my god, they'll just be like, no, the composition's off. You'd be like, what is composition? They'll be like, just Google it. And you'll Google it and you'll be like, oh,
dude,
I I know the terminology now, dude. Now I could totally like look up. Oh my god, just learning the terminology, and then you put the words into Google and you get literally thousands of videos. That's how you just educate yourself online. But you definitely need to get critiqued, I think, if you want to educate yourself online, because you need to learn. They'll give you resources, hopefully, if they're professional artists. They'll be like, oh yeah, just check out this artist. Just check out Andrew Loomis. Just check out Proco. This specific video at this time frame. That's he'll say exactly what's wrong with the current issue in the anatomy that you're having.
yeah, no, it's really hard. I think
It is. It's so hard.
I
It's just life.
well,
Oh my god.
see, I think it's important to have a mix of critique, and then Jim taught me that you also need to be able to like spot those mistakes yourself. Because I think the same thing is because that I guess I can quote Scott Robertson book where it's the same way because he goes over how to draw a straight line, right?
Yeah.
And he goes over how to overcompensate or undercompensate to get a better like straight line. I guess in the simplest sense, it's being able to like observe your mistakes, being able to like observe, tweak, and then fix. Because I think one of the things that's definitely like a flaw, especially among me and other people, is that we draw too fast, and then but we don't sit there and we don't say, okay, so this cylinder does not look three-dimensional because it doesn't have like an axis, or this line isn't straight because I did it too quick and I arched it too high, or I drew this face wrong because I didn't use reference properly, or I didn't use proper foreshortening because and then part of that's also becoming educated. It's creating that problem and finding a solution, but then it's also at the end reflecting on your problems and being able to like do better the next time and improve it. Because that's really, I don't know, it's definitely hard. It's also having like other people look at it and check, because sometimes you won't see anything you miss, and it's important to have like your work looked at too.
I've been watching a couple of TED Talks, like especially on the subject of learning and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The military have a foolproof plan for this. It's just you have to do the action. You can't think about it prior. You could study it prior, and you can think about it prior, but 90% of your effort has to go into doing it. So it has to be done. You have to fail in order to learn. So they go through the mission, and then they have a debrief, which is just like what went wrong, what went right, and then what could we do better. It's so incredible. Just the way to learn is just, oh my god. I
It,
could talk about this for fucking hours.
it's definitely part. It's definitely a huge part of it is being aware of what you're doing. Because if you ask yourself those questions, like what am I doing, why am I doing this, it helps you be more conscientious. Because I think that's the thing. How Kim Jong-il learns is that he'll do something over and over, but he'll look at the past attempt and be like, okay, I'm going to do this again, but like this. And he'll keep doing it and making small corrections until the point where it's just muscle memory and he's just doing it right.
That was one very thoughtful thing that I heard from someone once also was the because I have this huge issue of comparing myself to Instagram artists and all this sort of stuff. And I heard this person say once, the only person that you really need to outdo is just the you of yesterday, and then everything else will just snowball from there. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that's a good.
All this self-hate for nothing.
That's a good quote. Yeah, no, it's really tough because I think the biggest enemy of any artist is like yourself.
I'm still trying to read through that the War of Art. I hear it's really great. I hear it helps a lot with that. It helps a lot with self-defeating and procrastination and like self-doubt.
Yeah, I read part of it because I know Jeff like recommended it to me. It's I don't know. It's such a it's, getting good at art. It's such like a slippery slope.
Definitely.
It's definitely like it's a never ending pursuit.
Oh, absolutely. That's the other fucking thing. Is like no matter what you want to do in art, no matter how you're going to do it, even if you're Kim Jong-gi level, you will never reach the end. It's not just like, oh, well, I finished making this masterpiece. I guess no one else will ever reach this. And I hit the max level cap in a video game. I hit the level cap in Warcraft. So I'm done. No, it's like, oh Jesus.
There's always going to be an expansion set.
Joe Rogan just like, don't take yourself so seriously, man. That's for me. I need to not take myself so seriously. It's like you're gonna die. Your art's gonna be shit, or at least it's not gonna be. It's never gonna be the best, but it's definitely gonna be unique as fuck because it's art. No one ever does it the same. It's like a fucking snowflake. Call me a snowflake. I'm unique. I'm special.
Amen, brother.
Okay. Well, we better fucking wrap this up. We're an hour and 30 minutes in.
I know it's gonna be a fucking long ass podcast.
I'll cut out some stuff.
Just cut out all
See
of
what
it.
you know what, just start it. Just scrap it.
Just
We're
fucking
starting over
scrap
right
it.
now.
It's done. It's done. We're done. This is done. It's done.
You know what? I'll take my dad up on that position to go work over as a plumber in his company. You know what? We're done here. It was nice knowing you, Alex.
It's nice knowing you, buddy. Fuck the podcast business.
Okay,
All
so
right.
any outro words?
Eat vegetables, drink fruit, eat water. Stay healthy, everyone.
Oh, and don't be a pedophile.
Yeah, don't.
Thank you. Have a good night. Good night.